Good afternoon. What happens when you send somebody to go look for something and they come back and they say, I couldn't find it? Maybe you sent them to the refrigerator and they opened it up and they looked, but they couldn't find it. And they came back and said so. Or you sent them downstairs or you sent them upstairs. They were looking for something specific in the drawers. They thought it was going to be in a cupboard somewhere. You thought it was going to be on the floor somewhere. You sent them, you told them where it was. They went, they looked, and they came back. And they said, I just can't find it. Of course, most of the time in those situations, you go stomping off to where they're looking. You go to the refrigerator, you move one thing out of the way, and there it is right there. Or you go upstairs, they were looking in their closet, and move one thing, pick up one thing off the floor, and there it is, exactly what it is that they were looking for. It was just better if you had done it yourself in the first place. It would have caused you less frustration. You could have bypassed all of that and just taken care of it and moved on with your life. There was a point in time where there were religious leaders that were supposed to be looking after the people. They were given by God the charge of taking care of the spiritual needs for the people. And those people that God put in charge, those religious leaders, they were just as sinful as everybody else. They had just the same problems as everybody else, and so they fell and failed just as much as everybody else. God had given them a responsibility. He had sent them off and said, do this, and they came back and said, God, we can't. We failed. And the people suffered because of it. And finally, God's answer was this, Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 11. For this is what the Lord God says, Here I am. I myself will seek the welfare of my flock and carefully search for them. God was going to do it himself. And the reality is, that's the way it had to be. God wasn't trying to say that the people who were religious leaders had to save their people, just that they had to watch out for them, because God was doing the saving. You may have parents and you have teachers and you have pastors and those that are watching out for your welfare, people who are watching out even for your spiritual welfare. But they're not saving you. That responsibility falls to God alone. He is the only one who watches out for you, and He is the only one who saves you. He Himself is going to seek the welfare of you. He is going to carefully search for you. The Lord God does it Himself. Until we see each other again, the Lord's blessings on your day.